Thankfully, there was not the chaos at the Capitol that many had anticipated, but Arizona is in the spotlight yet again here, of course, as we prepare for a Senate race in the next 2 years. What is your read on the political landscape?
Well, I mean, it's like from one thing to the next. We don't really get any downtime, do we? And I think yesterday, the inauguration, in terms of sort of calming partisan tensions, I think it really went as well as it possibly could have. And that's a good thing, I think, for state elections around the country, because we saw yesterday, Republicans and Democrats largely, interacting warmly, Mike Pence showing up to support Joe Biden, Roy Blunt and Amy Klobuchar, the two senators in charge of the whole event, working together. So, that's all good. That's all good stuff. And I think we're seeing, a little more unity than we have seen in recent months. Hopefully it'll ease a lot of political tensions here in Arizona and around the country.
It remains to be seen, though. There are a couple federal lawmakers from Arizona who are already expressing dismay with President Biden's policies. Will that cast a shadow here as we approach the 100 days of the presidency?
Well, Biden has already shown that he is really hitting the ground running, signing 17 executive orders yesterday, I believe it was. And of course, we've already seen vocal opposition from some prominent Republicans, including some here in Arizona. Now, we're going to have to see what happens over the next 2 years. I think that people are exhausted. Voters are pretty exhausted from all of the really intense campaigning. And we got it here in Arizona as bad as anybody. We were a swing state in 2020. We've had two very high-profile Senate races over the last, 2 years. So I think people are ready to just kind of calm down a little, take a break, and then we'll see how candidates decide to approach the election as the next 2 years approach.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I mean, the Senate race is not that far off. So will Arizona get the same attention that it did, given that it has become a battleground state?
Well, I mean, given how close things are in the Senate, the Senate is evenly divided between Democrats and Republicans. We saw how much attention was given to the state of Georgia, given that the winners of that Senate race really determined who holds the balance of power in the Senate. Arizona is going to be in that position in 2 years. So I think we're going to see huge get out the vote efforts from both sides, just as we saw recently. And I don't think we can expect that to calm down at all, just given how close things are in the Senate. Both parties really, really want this win.
But what is your read on how closely aligned Republicans in Arizona will be and Democrats? Because it would be fair to say there was a bit of a shuffle this year.
Well, we did a lot of polling among Arizonans through the Arizona Policy Lab at the University of Arizona. One thing we found is that Republicans in Arizona are largely quite ideologically moderate, and they view themselves a little bit out of step with Republicans nationally. So what I mean by that is we found that a large percentage of Republicans in Arizona say they're moderate, and they say that national Republicans are actually quite conservative. Now, I think that's actually why Mark Kelly did so well in 2020, why he won, because he was seen as much more moderate than Martha McSally. And I think it's actually really going to benefit the Republicans to appeal to that moderate, the moderate ideology that so many Arizona voters here say they have. Now, recently, that's not what we've seen. We've seen, censorship of Cindy McCain, actions like that really don't appeal to most moderate Republicans. And Arizona voters, not only Republicans, Democrats also, really view themselves as pretty centrist when it comes to politics.
Okay. That'll pave the way for an interesting Senate race ahead. All right,
Absolutely.
Professor Klar, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lorraine.